Princess Anne taught Meghan painful lesson, finishing Sussex's cheap ambition with royal title. Meghan Markle could have learned a lesson or two from Princess Anne, who has never overstayed her welcome or tried to be something she's not, a royal commentator claimed. Meghan Markle could have learned some lessons from Princess Anne, who has never tried to cash in on her status or overstayed her welcome, a royal commentator claimed. Anne remarked 2 years ago, when Meghan and Prince Harry were still royals, that they probably don't understand her philanthropic legacy. Royal commentator Jen Moyer chimed in on these comments to address the stark differences between Anne and the modern royals. Ms. Moyer claimed Anne had a lot she could teach the two Sussexes about their publicity choices. She said Anne had never tried. The commentator added that the Queen's daughter never tried to be something she's not and endear herself to the public. Ms. Moyer's damning comments were in response to Anne's interview in Vanity Fair in April 2020, where she revealed her skepticism about the new generation of monarchy. And the publication, "I don't think this younger generation probably understands what I was doing in the past, and it's often true, isn't it? You don't necessarily look at the previous generation and say, oh, you did that? Or, you went there? Nowadays, they're much more looking for, oh, let's do it a new way. And I'm already at the stage, please do not reinvent that particular wheel. We've been there, done that. Some of these things don't work. You may need to go back to basics." It is believed Anne could have been making reference to Prince Harry's climate change venture, Travelist. Ms. Moyer wrote, "Saving the planet, recycling and thrift. There is a lot she could teach the Sussexes. Anne hasn't bought a new skirt since 1977 and often turns up in something that looks like it's been run up from a pair of old curtains from the shed, quite possibly because it has." Princess Anne left midwives in stitches today as she recalled fearing that one of her babies had become wedged when she tripped over in a horse lorry while heavily pregnant. The Queen's eldest daughter was chatting to maternity experts on a visit to the new headquarters of the Royal College for Obstetrics and Gynecology with the Duchess of Cambridge, who is patron of the organisation. The royal women were shown a demonstration of a new intrapartum fetal surveillance tool, which monitors the safety of babies during labour in order to move to an emergency delivery if the baby's head gets stuck in the mother's pelvis. "Wedged?" asked Anne, to laughter. The princess, who is a mother to Peter Phillips, 44, and Zara Tindall, 40, then told the group how she feared that would happen to her during one of her pregnancies, adding, "I thought, that's a bit interesting. The baby ended up the right way up though." Professor Tim Draycott, Vice President of HOG and Professor of Obstetrics, who was helping to demonstrate the tool, said later, "She said she had tripped over a horse lorry while heavily pregnant and thought that had happened." The tool has been developed over the past 5 years by the Avoiding Brain Injury in Childbirth collaboration, which hopes to pilot it later this year and roll it out nationwide in 2023. The Duchess and the Princess watched Dr. Katie Cornthwaite, an obstetrics and gynecology registrar, and Dr. Rochna Bal give a demonstration of new training for health workers faced with delivering, via caesarean section, an infant whose head is wedged in the pelvis, an issue that is a growing litigation problem for the NHS. Professor Draycott stood at the head of the dummy mother to demonstrate the role of the anaesthetist in keeping the parents informed of what is happening during the procedure. Anne made the medical staff laugh when she quipped, "You do this with just an epidural?" At one point the Duchess and Princess leaned forward to peer into the caesarean opening as Dr. Cornthwaite described in detail how she removed the dummy baby. Professor Draycott said later what is known as impacted fetal head was becoming a huge problem for the NHS, which has been facing lawsuits following difficult births where the baby has suffered trauma around the head.